Hey there, it's Mindy from simplymindy.com. Today I'm sharing how I made this jewelry organizer out of a picture frame and a common office supply organizer. If this is your first time here and you want to learn more about me, check out my website linked in the description box below. I wanted to declutter the surface where I was keeping my jewelry and decided that putting it up on the wall would save some space. So I'm repurposing this large frame from a previous project. These hanging existing jewelry organizers, which I'm going to cut apart and use pieces of, this cotton twine, and my staple gun. I had painted this frame in this blue gloss paint for that previous project, and I wanted to change that to black, so I'm using this Rust-Oleum spray paint in ultra matte, and this is just a flat black. So I sanded that and spray painted it, and while that was drying I cut these apart, and I have a pair of bolt cutters which I know not everyone has, but these hanging organizers have a little seam where you could probably bend them back and forth and cut them without the bolt cutters. So I cut each of these down to this size, and of course I'm going to save those extra pieces to maybe use in another project. I wanted to be able to use this organizer for necklaces and earrings, so I split it into two sections, and for these squiggly pieces that I cut from the hangers, I attached to one side of the frame, and then I needed to add a piece in the center, so I used this piece of, it's like a MDF material, and it actually came in a package that I'd gotten a while back, and I decided to keep this piece. So luckily I had this in the garage, and I just cut it down to size and attached it to the frame using that power tack glue that you just saw. And for the other side of the frame, I used that cotton cord and cut 4 pieces to size. I attached one side to the frame using my stapler, and the other side to that centerpiece using lots of hot glue. You could easily do this with just the rope or any, twine, ribbon, whatever you have on hand, and a frame. And like I said before, I'm going to hang mine, but you could easily adjust this to sit on a surface by adding a couple of pieces of wood down at the bottom of the frame. My second jewelry organizer, I use this desktop office supply organizer. It's meant for like paper clips and things like that, but I wasn't using it, so I decided to repurpose it. I'm also using this scrap dowel that I had left over and these screw eye hooks, plus this cork sheet. It just so happened that the screw eyes that I had fit perfectly within the openings of this metal organizer. So I just screwed both the pieces in and it fit snugly. It did not come out. But I'll show you in a second what you can use if you don't have something that fits snug. So to add my dowel, I simply added the screw eye hooks center the dowel and fit the dowel within the eye of the hook. Now you could leave this just like this, or spray paint it, or paint it with chalk paint, or whatever you have, and this works perfectly for a hoop earring like this one, or you could add a bracelet or even hang earrings from that dowel. But I decided to give mine a little more flair. So I covered it with the cork sheet. I simply placed it on the sheet, traced out the size, and cut it. It cuts very easily with a craft knife or scissors. Now you'll see in the upper right corner, I'm showing you other options. If you wanted to use just Dollar Tree items, they do sell small dowels and these smaller eye hooks which fit perfectly together, and you would need something to hold that eye hook in place. So I showed you there, you could use one of their wooden blocks. You could also just take a piece of twine, feed it through this mesh, and tie it into the inside and use it like that. Or you could take some ribbon, glue some strips on, and that would work perfectly as a surface to poke earrings through. Now I wanted to take this one step further and add a little pop of color, so I'm using these two paints that I had on hand. I'll link the colors down in the description, and I used some washi tape and just made some random geometric shapes on the cork and painted in each color. Now, if you didn't have cork and you still wanted to cover this, you could use cardboard and get the same effect. So you would, glue it on just like I did with the cork, and you could easily paint that or cover it with a piece of fabric, and that would give you a surface to poke stud earrings into, which is what I'm using this for. So that is it for these two wall-mounted jewelry organizers. I am planning on some more upcoming DIY organizer videos, so go ahead and leave me a comment letting me know what areas you need help organizing. I'll also link to a couple of previous videos in the description box, so be sure to check those out. If this is your first time here, welcome. I hope you'll subscribe if you enjoy home decor on a budget. Go ahead and like this video if you enjoyed it, and leave me a comment. I'll see you in the next one.